if you wasn't blocking, you are getting packed up. In Vince McMahon voice, you're fired. We have another offensive lineman fired from the Cleveland Browns for not blocking for Shedeur Sanders. It was an absolute travesty what took place last season, man. We got to get into this. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification, hype the video. That would be greatly appreciated. Let's get into this here. The Dogs, the Cleveland Browns podcast posted the Browns have officially fired Jack Conklin, right tackle, per Daniel Oyes-Fusi. Conklin missed 44 of his 101 games. Okay, he missed 30 games through 2023 to 2025, 14 through 2020 to 2022. 2026 was a void year for Conklin after he agreed to a rework deal last offseason. The Browns will be hit with a $12 million dead cap charge. So he was that bad to the point where they're willing to get hit with a $12 million dead cap. But Jack Conklin is officially out, as Andrew Berry has brought in reinforcements on the offensive line for Shedeur Sanders and continues to look to add to those offensive line reinforcements via the draft and some depth signings in free agency still remaining. Let's take a listen to what Mary Kay Cabot had to say about Andrew Berry's plan and building around Shedeur Sanders in this offseason. They are finally starting to smell that good old coffee.
See how that goes. But it's not easy to land a starting tackle in the NFL, a veteran tackle. So he did accomplish that with the trade for Titus, and then just all of the other pieces. I mean, he got starters all across the board, and there will be some competition for some spots. But if they had to play a game tomorrow, they could field a pretty decent offensive line.
How has what they've done dictate what they're going to do at 6? Or did they already know, and that is what allowed them to set the course? I don't know if I asked that properly. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're saying. And I don't think it really changes the strategy too much. I do think that they will still look very strongly at left tackles or tackles in the draft, and you have to do that. You have to restock those positions. So they don't really necessarily have their starting left tackle of the future just yet, unless DeJuan Jones comes back really healthy and proves that he can be that guy. So I think they will look at, Spencer Fano and Friedling and all the guys that we ended up talking to at the Combine.
Mary Kay Cabot joining us here on the Make It Right, Call Kyle Right hotline. What do all these deals mean maybe for the future of Joe Bitonio in a Browns uniform?
Well, it seems to suggest that Joel might not be coming back, but the book has not been closed yet on that. They're giving him the time that he needs. Maybe he's already decided he's not coming back. That's what it seemed like as they just kept signing one guy after another. But you just never know. When you put a little bit of time and distance between your aches and pains and the end of the season, sometimes you decide that maybe you can coax one more season out of your body. So we'll have to see how it goes. They really could use him for a number of reasons, including trying to be the glue that can hold together a completely new offensive line and serving almost as a coach in the meeting rooms and on the field. But it does seem like there are a lot of indications that he might be gone.
Do you think he retires, or do you think he's elsewhere?
I would think that he would retire. I think if he's going to play more football, that it would be here. He's sort of like Joe, I think, in that regard. That if he's going to play, he's going to come back to the team that really wants him to be here and appreciates him and the community that he's very established in.
How close were the Browns paying attention to the whole Max Crosby, Trey Hendrickson thing, just how to do business, how not to do business? Is it at all true that the Browns maybe are one of the teams that wouldn't do business with the Ravens in the future because of this? Or is it just like, hey, well, they probably wouldn't do a lot of business because they're division rivals?
Well, I'll tell you what, the Cleveland Browns not too long ago were a team that rankled all of the NFL owners, or most of the NFL owners, by doing the first and only fully guaranteed contract in the NFL for Deshaun Watson. So the Browns know something about being a team that teams don't want to do business with, or might, look side-eyed at them because of something that they did. So I don't think that other teams should be as judgmental about this whole situation as it seems like some of them are being, or, what we're hearing coming out from other GMs and whatnot. This is a business. You have to do what you have to do for the best of your club. And if they thought that they didn't feel comfortable with the medicals, then they're not going to give up 2 first-round picks for him. That's a mighty steep price to give up for someone if you're just not comfortable.
Yeah, they'll get over it. There's only 32 of these. You have a limited number of trade partners, and if there's somebody on that team that you want, you have no choice but to work with them. So, I agree with that. I think that there's a stain on them maybe a little bit now, but I don't think it'll last.
No, I don't think so either. And the Ravens have always been viewed as, just a very professional organization, and they do things the right way, and people respect them around the league. So, yeah, I don't think so. But I do think that it might remind other owners and other teams and other GMs to, just be a little leery of bashing another team for how they're doing their business.
When do you think the Browns will start to finalize their draft board, and what do you think the odds are that they would trade down again from 6?
Well, I think the odds are pretty good if they can find a trade partner. I think Andrew would love to trade down from number 6, and he's basically said that he's open to doing that. I think they're more than open to doing that because they need, once again, to be poised to take a quarterback in 2027 if the occasion arises. And right now it seems like they are marching forward with Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders, and they're going to let those guys compete for the starting job. That's what it seems to be for now. Now, that can always change because in the NFL, we know you have to be ready to pivot depending on what becomes available. But as of right now, it seems like they're going forward with those 2 guys competing for the starting job, and then see how that goes this year, and then revisit the quarterback thing next year. So therefore, you want to have, if you can get it, another first-round pick for next year.
Well, that's what I was going to ask is it feels like the 27 draft first-round picks are a lot harder to come by. I know the Ravens just almost traded one, but for the most part, do you get the sense it's going to be harder for a team like the Browns to acquire a first-round pick next year in a draft that could have, 4 or 5 quarterbacks go in the first round?
Yes, it could definitely be harder. It's probably not going to be, as easy to get the kind of haul that Andrew Berry got out of the Jaguars last year. And when you look at that trade, I mean, that is
he knocked it out of the park. Yeah.
Right? I mean, that trade was incredible. So he would have to work really hard to try to find something like that again. But if you can get a first-round pick, and again, it will not be easy, but if you can get one, you want to try to do that. And short of that, you want to try to at least get maybe a high second or something like that. So, yeah, I think that he will definitely try, especially